Glass half empty or half full? Which one are you? Which one are you? It doesn't really matter. It's kind of a trick question. I think either way, there's pros and cons either way, but regardless of whether you're half full or a half empty kind of person, there's one big thing preventing you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish, and also a million tiny small things at the same time preventing you from getting what you want. And that's what I want to talk about today, and it really ties in well with the concept of nuance that I've been reviewing this week. So, as part of the Words and Wisdom series, nuance is from the Latin nubis, which means to, like in the clouds, or the French noir, which it means to shade. And in this reference of the word nuance, it is like a self-analysis of ourselves. If you introspect enough, you'll be able to see that there are many small things that you do or that you could be doing differently. And very recently, especially in this past month, I've been really honing in on this in my own life, and that is just removing all the friction from your life. So if you can analyze your actions and see exactly what it is, at what point you get turned off onto a certain activity. So for example, these videos. I was having trouble being consistent with creating these videos. There was the daunting task of like setting up the camera equipment. There was like the lighting here. I have a light up here. Now my setup is a little bit more simple, but it's been this setup for pretty much the last couple years, and only in the last couple of weeks have I been able to really unlock a lot of productivity, which is actually creating videos, actually talking to the camera, talking to you. Before that, I was just thinking about all the different ideas I could be working on. I guess the actual act of, like, the video concepts themselves were difficult. So the details that I had to iron out were my setup, my environment. I needed to create an environment where everything was geared towards me taking action. So in this tiny office that I have the lighting set up so that I can just automatically get it up there within like 10 seconds. I have all my lights ready. I have a camera that just sits in a bag, and I pull it out and put it onto a tripod. Sits right there. I can look at the little screen. And this is all designed to make it so that it's as easy as humanly possible for me to accomplish what I need to accomplish. And this is the power of introspection and seeing where the friction is and eliminating the friction. In this past month, you might not be able to see it in, I guess, the view count or the subscriber count, but that doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is getting these reps in and practicing my articulation of the ideas that I have in my mind. So today's concept of that ties into nuance, being half empty or half full. I would say that I'm personally half full. I'm always very optimistic about things, and that a lot of times ends up with me underestimating the action required to actually achieve what I want to achieve. Whereas I think someone with the opposite perspective of half empty, they would, have the opposite experience where they are not optimistic and they overanalyze every step and never get there, never take the action in the first place because they just keep coming up with a million different reasons to not do what they really want to do. Ultimately, it's fear. They're afraid of what's going to happen. If they do succeed, even there's fear in that. Like what happens if they have to continue to be accountable to themselves? And I might be getting too meta here, and I'm not really sure where this video is going at this point. just a reminder, I don't do any cuts. I don't do any music. So, and I'm also trying to remove those filler words. So, filler words. I actually saw a video yesterday about how to remove filler words, and I did not see anything in the video about actually removing filler words. And again, I think this just comes with consistent practice. And not filler words aren't useless. I think they're really good at making you sound relatable in a way. So using them strategically is okay, but overusing them, and also other words like, for example. So, there's another one that I commonly use. It's after I've said something, and that's a really, really bad habit I would like to break as well. And these are all nuances in your speech that can only be ironed out with consistent practice. Yeah. So I had a few other bullet points here that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to start pulling in some bullet points so that I can continue to speak with actually having some, I guess, structure to my videos. So another thing I wanted to talk about today was, sorry, I'm a little bit sick, was being employed. Well, not just being employed, but how do I say this? How important it is to continue to work toward your future, especially whenever you're gainfully employed. So whenever you're employed, it's like you're funding your present right now. I mean, if you get paid well enough, you might be funding some of your future as well. But I always think that it's best to work hard whenever you don't have to do it. Whenever it comes time, whenever you're desperate and you have to do these things, then shit has already hit the fan, and your work quality, the quality of your work is not going to be there. You won't be able to work with passion. So, for example, these videos I'm making right now, I'm not making any money off of this. I don't make a dime. I'm just doing this specifically to increase my skill of articulacy, to provide you with good inputs into your life, and so that I can have good discussion, good feedback from the community as well. If I were laid off, I didn't have a job right now, I would be shilling you random garbage probably. And I mean, I do have like affiliate links in there, but that's just like solid business acumen or whatever. I think everyone should be working towards something bigger for their future. Like I said earlier, especially while they're gainfully employed. And that makes it whenever times of crisis do come, you have cushion. Not only cushion in the form of savings, but momentum in something else. Especially in this new economy with AI and everything. For example, I can foresee across every single industry, there's going to be contraction, where AI is going to be able to pretty much make a lot of jobs much easier, requiring less human resource to do things. So, for example, even blue-collar jobs, people are talking about how you should go into the trades. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Trades do make good money. Trades are not a bad choice. But, for example, I could imagine up a diagnosis robot right now. It doesn't even have to be a robot. It could be some kind of drone. Just you make a call. This drone comes into your house, scans whatever your area is, and gives you the diagnosis of the whatever is wrong. Like, for example, with your pipes. They just saved a bunch of time from having and a bunch of money from having a plumber come out there, look at your pipes, and then tell you the same exact thing. Can you really tell me that there's not going to be less plumbers? Or same thing with electricians. I think it's going to be the same thing for across all the trades, like I said before. Yeah. So let me make sure I'm on track here. Health. Okay. So yeah, I want to make sure I get a bunch of these points in because I'm closing up the week for the word nuance for this week. I'm pretty excited about the next word. I'm not sure what I've picked yet, but I'll probably do another poll to see what you guys want to see in the upcoming week. So health. This, I think, comes back to the friction thing. I was extremely unhealthy just like 6 months ago. I was 25 pounds heavier. Um, Basically brain fog all the time. And it wasn't fun. I had very low self-esteem. Looking in the mirror was just not a good experience. And, I mean, the way I solved it was I figured out what my bad habits were. So pretty much introspecting and analyzing the nuances about yourself. I noticed that even though I said a lot about, for example, not eating dinner, I would say, I'm going to skip dinner. And that way, I'm going to cut out some calories. What ended up happening usually was I would skip dinner, get hungry. Late at night, I would be doing something probably degenerate, and then I would bust open a bag of chips that's in my pantry or something and just like feast and instantly scarf down probably 700-800 calories. No wonder I started gaining weight, and pretty much after I tricked myself into believing that junk food was poison, I was able to eliminate that crap from my environment, and I don't even have any chips to even munch on right now. And since then, I've lost the 25 pounds that I mentioned before. And in addition to that, doing things like having an enjoyable way to take pills. So this, in a way, is a form of me getting dopamine. And by that, I mean, whenever I open this, it is so satisfying to my, I guess, spectrum mind that I enjoy taking vitamins. I get to open this thing and get this sensory experience. It's called an Ikigai case. It's a family-run business. I really, really highly recommend their product. It's really expensive, but for what I get from it, it's totally worth it. I've been taking my supplements every day, very consistently, and I feel a huge difference in my mental clarity, overall, like, body feeling, and I highly recommend everyone to just focus more on health. Because not only do we want to become articulate here, but we want to basically become just free. So the first word that we went over was sovereignty. We want to be able to control the narrative of our own lives. If we can't control our health, how are we going to control our lives? Whenever you're in an unhealthy state, you no longer have control. Your body is in control, not your mind, not your hopes and dreams. So, just the final note here, let's be healthy, let's become articulate, and let's fucking rock this shit. See you next time.